All right, guys, here we are. We're live. We're live everywhere. It's G with the Roman G's Botanica, and we are on TikTok over here. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. All going live. And today, what we're going to talk about is the other day I did a video on the business side of running a metaphysical store, and it got a lot of positive feedback. Um, People were wanting to know more information about owning a metaphysical store because a lot of people have opened crystal shops, occult bookstores, um, psychic shops in the past, especially since COVID. People found that was what they wanted to do. And, some are around and some have failed. It just depends on the route they took. So I collected some of the questions and answers that people have sent me over over a period of time about running a metaphysical store. Um, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm G. My husband and I own Aroma G's Botanica in Nashville, Tennessee, and our metaphysical store, the company is 25 years old. So we've been around a long time. It is actually started in 1999. And it's, the one thing we have found is you have to be willing to um, go through a metamorphosis whenever it's needed. Hello, Melinda. Many people joining over on TikTok. We're talking about running a metaphysical shop, what it takes to run a metaphysical shop. Um, so, any mistakes anyone's if you have questions, you can put them in the chat. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, it will come through our StreamYard account. If you're on TikTok over here, you know what? I'm not used to going on TikTok too much yet. I don't know if I put it where you can actually ask questions. So sorry. I'll get used to it. I'll get used to it if they don't take TikTok away again. Um, but yeah, we're also on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we're on YouTube Live. So let me get into some of the questions that people ask me, and here is a big one. Um, let's talk about when people apply to work at a metaphysical shop. Um, Let me tell you what to expect, because we get a lot of applicants where people think they're going to come into the shop all day and just they're going to do reiki. They're going to get some selenite wands. They're going to go over people's auras. um, they're going to talk about cool topics. They're going to sit on zafus on the floor and play with the singing bowls, and all that's cool. And and we do that sometimes. Yeah, we do that. But I'll tell you what the thing they don't realize is we have questions like, can you lift 50 pounds? There are going to be daily shipments of books, tarot, incense, singing bowls, cauldrons, oils to make, oils to label. Um, there will be toilet cleaning. So yeah, it's not all Reiki and buffing out someone's aura on a daily basis. You have got to get in there. You've got to count the registers. You've got to clean the toilets. You've got to take the trash out. You've got to do all that stuff that people don't think about, because it is a business. You're running a store. It's not just, we're not just here to play. We'd like to, and we get to quite often. But yeah, people skip over that thing. They think it's just going to be a cool hippie experience with all these good vibes going on. In the meantime, you got to pay everybody. You got to keep the doors open, and you got to sell stuff. You have to, because you're not going to keep your doors open unless you're selling stuff. So it's not all just chat about metaphysical topics. Not how it works. No, we all have fun with those, but not how it works. Um, Let's see. Some of the questions I got were, I'm going to scroll through some of these. What advice would you give to someone just starting out? First of all, have enough money to pay your rent for at least the first 6 months if you didn't sell a single thing. Um, like I said, I've seen some come and go. But the biggest advice I would give is be prepared. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to be one. I mean, there are some upsides to just working for someone else because you can go and do your job and then you can disconnect. When it's time to go home, you can go home, you can do your thing. If you're going to have a successful business, especially in the first 2, 3, 4, 5 years, um, yeah, you're not going to have much time off. So just cancel those vacations. You can just cancel out your vacation budget. Um, there are many times we get up at 6 a.m. and, brew the coffee, begin answering emails. Sometimes I'm there adding products to the website at 6:30 in the morning. And then, about 8 o'clock, we take a shower, go to the store, turn on all the lights, and then you have to do things like, count out the registers, get the money going. Then people start coming in. It's either time to work there or get down to the office. Um, and there's always something to do with it's pricing things, it's invoicing, there's payroll. It's all stuff that's not fun that you're not thinking about. Like I said, once again, we're not doing Reiki on someone. We're not buffing anyone's aura out. We're actually running a store. We're stocking the shelves. We're putting out new product. We're unpacking orders as they come in. And there's all this stuff like right here. There's social media. You have to deal with social media. You have to schedule in readers. And there are, about after lunch, Roy and I usually go home. We're getting older. I'm 58 years old. This was started in my late 30s. Um, we take about a 20-minute cat nap, one of those Thomas Edison naps. You hear about that. He took these little naps in between his work and stuff. We get up and, it's time for more coughing. And then we get back to work. Um, and then we're off to working on putting products on the website. You have to photograph products. You have to design barcodes. And we may be working until 9:30 at night sometimes. So there it is, 6 in the morning. Get started. You're doing something. It may not be something big. It may be emails, but you're working on something. Then you get about 20-minute cat nap. You get 30 minutes for lunch. You get 30 minutes for dinner. You're going to stop about 9:30 at night, maybe 10. So yeah, you've got your 14, 15-hour day every day with about, an hour and a half break dispersed across the day. So people don't plan for that. They don't plan for that. They don't think it's going to be like that. This could be cool. Running my own business. I can do what I want to do. No, you can't do what you want to do. You got to do what you have to do. And that is a lot. It's a lot of different things. The list is long and it goes pages and pages and pages. Now, keep in mind, we love what we do. We love this business. That's what keeps you going. If you have picked something that you don't love to do, you're not going to last. You have to pick something you love to do, or you're not going to last 14, 15-hour days for years at a time. Years. And yeah, there are times we get I've got to get a day off, and the only way you get that day off is because the flu forces you. You get something like the flu or a bad cold, and it forces you to have a day off. But well, even while you're standing there pricing out bracelets or calling up a reader couldn't come, so you're trying to call someone else. You're still loving it if it's what you. Well, at least we do. If that's what you love to do. Someone else asked me about how do you decide what times you're open, what times you're closed? It all depends on where you live, how big of a town. Um, I mean, we're in Nashville, Tennessee. So Melinda asked for a card. Hun, we're not reading tarot cards today. This is a business video. We're not. Someone else, Angela, get a card. We're not reading cards today. If you can tell, I'm not pulling cards. We're talking about the business of running a metaphysical store. So yeah, a few people from the Friday thing that are normally seeing me only read cards. Yeah, that's not what we're here for today. Thank you. Come back tomorrow when Fridays we do tarot readings. Answer your questions over on the YouTube channel and on Facebook. And that's Fridays 10:30 a.m. It lasts about 20 minutes. So today is Thursday, and we're talking about how to run a metaphysical store. Back to the hours. The best advice I can give someone is you need to pick what hours that you can handle, that you can handle, because this is the biggest thing. If you set these long hours that you can't handle and you just take off, people thrive on negative comments. It's just, hey, you've been on social media, you know this. So if someone drives to your shop and you are closed during normal business hours, two things are going to happen. Number one, they're never going to come back. And number two, you've pissed them off and they're going to tell whoever will listen to them. Because that's the thing. People, you can get really bad service somewhere and you're going to tell everyone. But, most of the time when you get really fabulous service somewhere, you don't seem to mention it, or you don't purposely make it a point to go online and talk about that good experience. You might do a Google review or something. But yeah, if you had a bad experience, you'll tell everyone. So pick hours that you can positively, absolutely be there. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of bad reviews and a bad reputation. We're open 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and Sundays 11 to 6. We're open. We have long hours, and there's 2 shifts of people. But lots of people come through the doors. They love it. So, there's always someone there. Like I said, if you guys have any business questions about running a metaphysical shop, put them in the comments and I will try to answer them. Someone's asked before about how did you choose the location of your store? Well, our store we were, originally we're setting up in the flea market. We had a small store before, and that location was really small. It didn't quite suit us. And then we kind of went back to the markets, and we met someone who, she did tea. We didn't really focus on tea at that time. And she knew someone who had a store for rent. So we sort of went in there as partners. And, she decided after a couple of years it wasn't really for her, and then it was just us. And then later on, we were in there with the yoga studio, and then later on, when the yoga teacher and the building owner retired, we took over the entire location. That was about 6 or 7 years ago, the whole location. But for you, how do you choose a location of your store? Foot traffic. You've got to have foot traffic. I've seen people open shops in these little tiny towns that they don't have any traffic. Now some people want that little boutique experience. Maybe they're keeping another job and they don't rely on the store to be their total income, and they just want this just a little boutique business, and that's fine. That's great if that's what you want. But if you're trying to make this your entire business, you've got to have foot traffic. And I don't mean people who are just walking by. I mean, ours really doesn't have foot traffic, but we're near the airport. So we do get people, tourists who are coming into town. You can drive to us easily from all parts of Nashville. You at least have to be driver friendly. Checking back and forth between. Okay, over on Instagram, Millie asked, "Do you experience much religious backlash being in Nashville?" No, not at all. Um, I think it's because we're well balanced. Um, so it's not a place that looks like scary gothic occult store with skulls. As soon as you walk in, there's a few in another room. But we also have things like you're gonna find Mary statues. Yeah, you're gonna find all these books on witchcraft and the occult and voodoo, but you're also gonna find the Holy Bible. That is our thing. We want to be inclusive to everyone, no matter what path you're on. So you're gonna find something for everyone. On the altar in the back room where people lead their prayers, there is a 4 foot tall uh, Guadalupe statue, so of Mary. So we don't seem to also get that, and also there's another part of your question would be, well, what if they've ever been in there to see that we're all that inclusive? I don't think we put that vibe out, you know. Um, I'm jeans and t-shirt kind of guy, so is rowing. We don't look too witchy. As witchy as we are, we don't look the part very much. So I think people look at it differently. I don't know. It's that's too bad that it's that way, but maybe it's packaging. Maybe it's packaging. And the store does look like a boutique. Yeah, there's different rooms that have different vibes, but yeah, it's still like a witchy boutique gift store. So I think that's part of how we get away with it. But other shops too, I haven't had anyone else talk about these experiences. It's when they go to these little bitty towns and try to open a witchcraft store or something that they get the most backlash. So let's see. Other questions. What were the biggest challenges you faced when starting out? Money. Money. You have to have enough money. It was, I can tell you, like I said, I've been around 25 years. Probably the first 10 years, we didn't pull a paycheck. We knew it was going to work eventually. Roy was still working his regular job. I still had some smaller jobs I was working. And we knew one day it would just click and take off. So we had the luxury of another income to wait it out. Um, and it would probably didn't have to be that long. So don't think you could have to start a business and it's for 10 years where you can get something. It's because we kept feeding the money back into the business. We don't like the idea of running a bunch of credit, like to pay for things. So we're always feeding it back into the business. Another question. Let's see. Sorry, I'm going back and forth. What if I don't like to get on social media? Okay, now that's a big question for 2024 that I'm gonna need a sip of coffee from first because I'm gonna have to talk a lot. Yeah, my stirring magic cup. Okay. If you don't like being on social media, or Okay, let me start off one way, then I'll finish the other one. You got to do branding these days. Someone the other day actually said, if you're a brand, that means you're not truly a witchcraft store or something. Everything these days is branding. What are you talking about? It is just recognizing someone as the face of a company or the face of a business where you understand, oh, that's so and so, and they're going to be talking about this. This is their vibe. This is their aesthetic. Um, you're going to be less successful if you don't get some on social media. These days, that's just how it is. Um, Tronald, if you could try calling the store again about that. Today we're on here talking about business, and that's going to break my vibe talking about that. So yeah, try the store. 615-589. No, I'm telling you my number. 615-360-8089. We looked for your call 2 weeks ago when we talked about this. There's only one of those statues left, so you want call the store and someone should be able to help you. Where were we? Social media. You've got to be on social media. Now, if you're someone who doesn't want their face on, that's fine. You can be you can be, you don't have to be a vlogger. Maybe you're a blogger. Maybe you're going to write good articles on your website that draw people in with lots of search engine optimization. Um, You can do that. You can also point your camera. It doesn't have to be here. You can point it down at a table while you're doing something with your hands. Doing demos that way and actually showing how to do something, and it's just your voice. Or maybe you have you just got to the point where you have an employee and they love doing it. As long as they're putting across the message that you're wanting to present for your company, then sure, let them do it. But yeah, social media is a must. We are on, well, today, like I said, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on TikTok. I'll probably share it more places. We're also on Threads, we're on LinkedIn, um, we're on, I still call it Twitter. Okay, X. We're all over the place. So you got to write articles. You've got to put out videos sometimes. If anything, post. You got to learn photography, if anything, to build a website and then post those pictures. Because people will tell me, well, I just don't like doing that stuff. Well, I'm sorry your business isn't going to work out. Um, Happy to give you a reference in a couple of years when your store is closed and you're going back to the regular workforce. It's just what you have to do. That is the nature of things. Anyone here watching this right now knows you're on social media right now. It is the new way to advertise. You're not going to take out an ad in the newspaper. You're not going to rely on the yellow pages for people to find you. You're going to be on the internet. And sorry, it's 2024. 2025. Sorry. See, I'm even behind. Someone put, if you could go back, what would you do differently? Probably what I would do differently would be to focus more on the community stuff earlier, because part of owning a metaphysical store is building a sense of community. Hi, Amy. Amy's saying hello to me. So you were live, so I would say hello. How you doing? Where were we? We were about community. You have to build community in store. How do we do that? How do we build community? We have events every year. We have our annual Folk Magic Festival, where we have between 6 and 8 teachers come in and teach like 45-minute classes, and it's free. We do it free to the community. We put out a buffet of food every year. It's an all-day event, and it's just like, here you're getting 6 to 8 hours of free classes and food and talking to each other, and there's like 500 people who attend. So that builds community. We're getting ready to do a psychic fair. Actually, I got one of the cards right here. On Sunday, March the 30th, 11 we have 5 different readers who are going to come and do psychic readings back in the spirit room. That creates community because it's not just one person waiting for the daily reader like we have. It's people planning to come and do something. We have divination share, which is happening tomorrow night because it's the third Friday of every month, where it's a free event too, where people just come. We set up tables in the back and they can practice on each other. Maybe they're not good at tarot yet. Maybe they're not good at runes yet. But they can come in and just practice. And there is a close-knit community being built around that divination share too. A lot of these people will come and they'll stay and they'll practice their tarot cards, and there's some people who are more experienced with them, who kind of guide the other people. And then a lot of these people will break off into these little communities afterwards, after the store closes, and go have dinner together. So, and we're wanting to do more stuff like that. I'm still wanting to do what I'm calling a witchcrafting night, where you just come, you bring your knitting, you bring your crocheting, you just sit and talk with each other. But it is a matter of scheduling everything out. You have to schedule everything out to get everyone together like that. So let me know if someone asks, Fully Woolly Boutique, do you do consignment? We did for a long time do consignment. Now I'm going to answer this from a business perspective. We stopped doing consignment, frankly, because of the man hours that it takes. We still have a select few that we've kept. There's only like 4 or 5 people who are always with us. But, I mean, people bring in stuff for consignment. Here's what happens. You have to sit down and assign it, because we have a large store and a large system. We have to know when it's sold. It has to be assigned a number and a barcode, or at least a selling number. Each individual piece you bring in has to be assigned a number, and you're sitting down with this thing, working on the computer, putting in these numbers, affixing it to the item, putting it on the floor in the proper place. And our store is jam-packed. You have to have room for whatever someone's doing. Some people wanted to bring some very large items. We don't have room for that. And then you just have to sit and wait for that to sell. And consignment, when you do consignment, the person who created it is the person making the highest dollar amount. They're making, like, depending on what store. Some stores keep 30%. We had kept 20 and went to 25. So what you're then doing is you sold one piece, and then the store itself is going to get 20% of, like, that. Let's say it's a $10 item. So the store is going to get $2. And then the end of the month, then we have to sit down and calculate all the things that you have sold, write checks, do PayPal. And at the end of the day, what happens is we're in the hole. We're in the hole from the man hours that was spent creating barcodes, getting it tagged, getting it on the floor, selling it for you, doing the bookkeeping on your behalf, doing the checks, and all the other things that go with that. Because sometimes I've found we have offered for different people to do trunk shows, and I found a lot of times some of the consignees weren't as serious about their entrepreneurial business, and they just wanted us to do all the work. They wanted no part of it. So, it's a give and take. It's a Roxana asked me a question. So that's why consignment is we have to focus on the things that will actually pay keep the employees paid. You want to keep the people you have working for you fed, you know? Roxana asked, what made you decide to downsize the crystal portion of your store? Thank you. I admire your space. Someone asked this a while ago, and I don't understand the question because we've enlarged it. I mean, before it was in the little bitty room where the bath and body room was, and now its wall space is in that huge long hall on both sides and at each end. So we haven't downsized the crystal part of the store. We've enlarged it. Someone a couple weeks ago asked that question, and they were thinking of a different store. They weren't thinking of ours. So we haven't downsized it. We've enlarged it. Come look again. Come look again. I mean, crystals are okay. If anyone has the question, what's the number one best sellers in a metaphysical shop? Crystals. I mean, we're so proud of all the stuff we make. We make our candles, we make our oils, we make our bath salts, we make our soaps. And at the end of the day, you really want the thing you made to be the best seller. And in a metaphysical store, it's not, it's crystals. Because I'll tell you why. Because they're easy to pick up. No matter what you're in there buying, you came in to get incense, or you came in to get bath salt, you came in for a candle, you came in for a book. You're still going to pass by and it's like, oh yeah, I can add a stone to that order. So it accumulates, and then over time, it's like everyone's getting a stone. Everyone's got a stone in their bag. Roxanne says I always buy summer oils when I'm there. It's but yeah, we of course, sometimes it depends if you came in at Christmas because um the stones can get attacked at Christmas. We've just recently got everything restocked. There's only a few empty bowls. And it can look like it's getting pretty bare, but that's because November, December, people come in and just attack the stones, and you really can't get them back in until after January, February, because all the vendors are out of stock. They don't have anything. So yeah, it can look lean during the winter, but we're all restocked again. Well, I hope you guys like this. We can do it again. Tell me, like I said, I did a business video the other day called Bracelets and Barcodes, everything that was involved in getting something on the web and on the floor. And people responded so well to the business part of running this kind of shop that I decided we'd go here and do another one. So hopefully you got something out of this. Feel free to send questions. You can to info@aromagees.com and put in the subject line questions for your next video or Q&A or something. In the meantime, always go over to aromagees.com. Check out what we've got going on. What am I doing next? We're working on trying to get the bracelets on the website. We're waiting for the barcode labels to show up so we can print them, sync them with the website. We've got 10 new Blessed and Dressed candles. We created 10 new 7 days, 10 new 3 chime packs. So we're all busy blessing, dressing those and getting them packaged. I'm trying to get them on the website and on Etsy, which is a step-by-step process. But So yeah, it was great being on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Come join me tomorrow where we will do those live tarot readings and answer your questions. 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Now let's see if I can learn how to end all of these videos at once. I've got to end here on StreamYard, then over to Instagram, and then to TikTok. So till next time, it's Papa G. Bye-bye.